On DC News Now at 5, a 2-year-old girl has been found dead. Police continue to work the case. Tonight is National Night Out. We'll have a live report on how law enforcement is working to build relationships in the community. And goodbye, Soto. The National Slugger has been traded. We'll tell you where he's headed next. And let's get a quick check on your forecast. Good afternoon, Dana.
Good afternoon, Mark. Yes, we're here live in your local Florida Weather Center, tracking a few localized downpours out there. We'll let you know where that rainfall will be most likely throughout the upcoming evening, coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. And thank you for joining us for the news at 5. I'm Mark Hall. We begin tonight with a suspicious death. Virginia Beach Police Department investigating the death of a 2-year-old girl who was from Washington, D.C. Joining us with the latest is DC News Now anchor Chris Flanagan. And Chris, what's the latest in the investigation?
Yeah, Mark, good afternoon. A spokeswoman for the Metropolitan Police Department said the woman in the hotel room was the mother of the toddler who died. That woman left the district with her daughter after she lost custody. Police say they were last seen in D.C. on Friday. Now, Virginia Beach police say their officers were called to this hotel, the Oceanfront Hotel, just after 3:30 this morning. When they got there, they say they found the 2-year-old dead and the mother having some sort of medical condition. They wouldn't elaborate, though. According to our sister station in Virginia Beach, a friend of the mother reached out to D.C. police after seeing concerning social media posts from her. So that's when police tracked her down to the Virginia Beach area. Of course, we'll have much more in this developing story coming up on DC News Now at 6 o'clock. Mark, back to you.
Chris, thank you. And tonight we're hearing from one of 4 black female firefighters suing the D.C. Fire Department for $10 million. The women are suing for a racial and gender discrimination in the form of pay, promotion, and workplace hostility. Now, it comes on the heels of a department hiring spree. D.C. Fire is recruiting for the first time in 3 years. They say, in particular, they're seeking diverse female candidates. But Jordana Sanders, one of the plaintiffs in the case, says different.
That diversity stuff they're talking, no, that's BS. They're just doing that because they know that they have a problem.
You are looking at a department that has a pattern and a practice and a culture of marginalizing Black women. And the only way you're going to change that culture is to bring it to the light and to challenge it, which is what this lawsuit is all about.
The women are requesting a jury trial in federal court. The fire department so far has declined to comment on the lawsuit. Well, Prince George's County remained on scene of a homicide. It happened this morning in a section of Temple Hills. Police found the body of an adult male on the side of the house on the 4900 block of Sharon Road shortly after 10:30. Now, they have not released his name. Neighbors did not want to go on camera, but they told us that they heard one gunshot. Now, then as many as a couple of dozen more after that. Police ask anyone with information about the shooting to contact him at PG Crime Solvers or the PG Tips app. You do not have to give your name. Well, just in tonight, D.C. police say the man killed in a mass shooting in Northeast last night was 24-year-old Lance Melvin. Melvin and 5 other men were shot at the Aziz Bates Court apartment on F and 15th Streets. Now, those other 5 are expected to survive. Police are offering $25,000 to anyone who can help make an arrest in each of the shooting. Well, happening now, National Night Out is underway in the district. The annual event is a way to highlight community police relations. Reporter Marielle Carbone is live at Lincoln Park, one of 7 locations MPD is hosting events tonight. Marielle, the event comes on the back of several major shootings in the district.
That's right. I mean, just last night, police were responding to a mass shooting not too far from here. And in the last month, there's been 2 fatal officer-involved shootings. So although this is an opportunity to celebrate and really talk with the community, it is also a time to talk with the community about the real issues going on here. Now, today we spoke to Assistant Police Chief Andre Wright, who tells us that MPD has been very focused on gun violence intervention and getting illegal guns off the streets. He says they've confiscated 1,800 illegal guns just this year, but obviously more needs to be done given what we're seeing every day. Now, Wright says today is an opportunity to talk to neighbors about the work they're doing and to do it in an environment where there's no threat and no pressure.
Oftentimes when we come into contact with residents, it's for, through an emergency or crisis or something like that. So to have the opportunity to come together in this space, a very peaceful space, and love on each other and sort of double down on our commitments for a safer community is the purpose of today.
Now this event here, it goes on until 8 tonight with some live music, food, opportunities, like we said, to talk to police and other agencies. You can see all that going on behind me now. But if you don't live by here, this is just one of several locations. There's events all throughout the district tonight. So I will tweet out the list of those other locations and also the times, because they vary if you're not able to make it out here to the park tonight. But for now, reporting live from Lincoln Park, I'm Ariel Carbone, DC News Now.
Oh man, seeing Soto go, it's brutal, man. He was the heart and soul of this team. It's sad to see him go, but we got to start a new chapter now. So now these young guys that are coming in, we gotta get them here, and they got to start matching. We gotta replace Soto now.
It's a smart fan right there. It's official. Nationals outfitter Juan Soto, along with first baseman Josh Bell, have been traded to the San Diego Padres for 5 prospects and veteran first baseman Luke Voigt. The 5 prospects that the Nats got in return are shortstop C.J. Abrams, outfielder Robert Hassel, the outfielder James Wood, pitcher Arlen Susana, and pitcher Mackenzie Gore. Well, Damon, it seems like a repeat of yesterday. I had a chance to spend a little time outside, and I enjoyed myself.
Oh, yeah. Things are shaking up in the baseball world, but in the weather department, yeah, things are staying status quo here. Another warm and humid day, and we have had a couple of localized downpours at times moving into the region as well. That's what we're tracking here. So far this evening, the large majority of us continue to stay on the dry side of things, but there you go. You have a bit of that rainfall now crossing through southern Maryland there, right through PG, St. Mary's counties, pushing toward the Chesapeake Bay. Now, one of those downpours has really picked up over Calvert County, but we don't have anything that is severe at this point, and really there hasn't been a lot of lightning even showing up on the radar picture. A couple of other cells drifting south of Fredericksburg, but the large majority of us continue to stay on the dry side. We'll keep that trend going as we move forward here for the next several hours. But there is a good look at those much warmer temperatures, upper 80s, low 90s, very commonplace up and down the mid-Atlantic and into the Northeast. And why exactly are we seeing this sort of pattern as we move into these first few days of August? Well, it's that time of year where the driving forces behind those changes to our weather pattern sort of just go away for a little while. One of those driving forces, the stronger upper level winds in the jet stream that separates the colder air that's off to our north and the warmer air to our south. Look at all of this warmth across the entire U.S. here. That jet stream is pretty much situated back across Canada, and it's not going to be coming any closer to us as we go over the next few days. So as we move along into tomorrow and Thursday, there is very, very little changing with our overall weather pattern here, which means more of the same. We're talking more warmth, more humidity, and those chances for spotty showers and storms at the very least. And speaking of that warmer air too, we are looking at a pretty sweltering day as we roll on into Thursday. We'll have an update on just how hot those temperatures could get coming up for you here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, today, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi arrived in Taiwan for a controversial visit, even after the military and the intelligence community told her not to go. Washington correspondent Trevor Shirley has the latest.
Well, the fear right now is that Speaker Pelosi's visit to Taiwan could strain relations between the U.S. and China even more. There are also concerns this visit could push China closer to Russia. Speaker Pelosi is now the highest-ranking elected U.S. official to visit Taiwan in more than 25 years. Taiwan is a self-ruling democracy, but China considers it to be a renegade province and for years has threatened to retake the island by force. For decades, the U.S. has supplied Taiwan with heavy military equipment to defend itself from an attack. The island nation's status has always been a flashpoint between the U.S. and China. Pelosi never officially confirmed her visit, citing security reasons, but after news broke 2 weeks ago of a possible visit, China vowed retaliation but didn't say specifically what it would do. Reports say Chinese officials were even more forceful in private conversations with the U.S., implying the Chinese may have even used fighter jets to keep Pelosi's plane from landing. That obviously did not happen since we saw her plane touch down earlier today. There's also concerns the visit may anger China enough to begin supplying Russia with military equipment to use against Ukraine. So far, the Chinese haven't done that, following extreme pressure from the White House when the war in Ukraine started. U.S. officials say ultimately any travel decisions the speaker makes are up to her, regardless of warnings from the military or the White House, or even threats from China.
We expect to see Beijing continue to use inflammatory rhetoric and disinformation in the coming days. The United States, by contrast, will act with transparency. We'll stand up here, we'll answer your questions, we'll give you the facts. We are also committed to keeping open lines of communication with Beijing. As I said, this is what the world expects of not just the United States, but of China. And we encourage Beijing to keep that commitment as well.
And Speaker Pelosi is expected to meet with Taiwan's president on Wednesday. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.